The winner to organize the 2022 FIFA World Cup is Qatar.
It was a moment of celebration, as Qatar had just been selected to host the 2022 FIFA World Cup. But little did the world know that what they were witnessing was an event that would ultimately result in the exploitation and abuse of over 1.5 million people. In preparation for the Games, the Qatari government began pumping money into infrastructure and development across the nation, erecting cities where just a few years ago was empty desert. To support this rapid development, Qatar needed an effective and cheap workforce. So companies, through an immigration process called the Kafala system, began to bring in laborers by the thousands from India, Nepal, and a number of other states. In past years, Qatar has received considerable negative attention concerning the treatment of these workers by Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, and a variety of other labor and media organizations. Investigations of the labor system conducted by NGOs have revealed that workers are unable to leave the country without employers' consent, cannot quit until their contract is up, have their passports confiscated and are without identification, have few to no labor rights, are forced to work excruciatingly long hours in the heat, while living in horrific conditions. Some, such as The Guardian, have gone as far to even refer to it as modern-day slavery. To date, over 1,200 workers have died as a result, mostly of heart complications pointing back to working conditions. While this issue is multifaceted undeniably, one of the largest factors causing the death of these workers is the heat, as working long, strenuous hours of labor under the desert sun with a constantly high body temperature can take a significant toll on the circulatory system. Damage inflicted by the heat manifests in heart complications. Studies have shown that it can induce heart attacks and dysfunctions, as well as strokes. Recognizing the impact of the temperature, governments across the Middle East have taken action. The UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar have instilled midday break programs for the summer months that prevent work outdoors from 12 to 3. While this is a positive first step, it's not near enough to curb the effects of heat exposure. However, the Qatari government is quite unlikely to accept any changes that further diminish productivity and elevate costs. Hence, a feasible solution would need to reduce the impact of the heat while not affecting the current work schedule. Thankfully, there may be a solution that could work within these constraints. It's not something new, it's actually technology that was first patented in 1986 called the cooling vest. It was originally created to be worn under heavy protective clothing for those working in lab environments and kept the wearer's body temperature low, in turn preventing overheating. While the initial product was only able to keep cool for short periods of time, it has since evolved. Today, the vests use evaporative technology, which harnesses water as a fuel source, making it reusable with low running costs. It's easy to use, you simply pour water into the vest and it will keep cool for up to 3 days. They do not impair movement due to their lightweight fabric construction, and most importantly, operate at their highest capacity when in dry conditions similar to that of Qatar. Currently, these vests cost on average between $60 to $70. However, by placing large bulk orders, it can be reduced to under $40 per vest. Additionally, as the number of vests being supplied to migrant laborers increases, independent manufacturing opportunities can also be explored. It's important to note that for cooling vests, there's only a one-time fee, as they do not require maintenance and run on water, which is already available at local camps and work sites. The question then becomes, even if the cost is relatively low at $40, who's going to pay for that? Well, there are very few policy protections for workers. Section 54 of the Labor Act states that employers shall take all precautions to protect workers from injury caused by the job. Thus, when the benefits of the vest are presented as a proven means of reducing the impact of heat exposure, legally construction companies have an obligation to provide them, just as they do hard hats and boots. The only issue with vests is the drying time, as after use they must be left to dry for up to 3 days. However, patents for vests that have shorter drying periods have been published, and new products that require only a few hours to dry could be released soon. A possible solution is within our grasps, and action can be taken now to protect these workers who are dying as a consequence of our entertainment interests. 4,000 workers are expected to die by the time the Games begin in 2022, but whether that estimate becomes a reality is entirely up to us.